I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under... oh shit. Well, as many American individuals, many people born in the United States and who were raised in the public school system will tell you that at least at some point in their life, they had to wake up every morning and say the Pledge of Allegiance. And in that, there is the phrase, under God, or there has been since the 1950s during, oh yeah, we were afraid of the communists who were apparently largely atheist. But that's a different topic. Religion in the public school systems. I don't agree with it. You know, saying under God when you're pledging allegiance to the flag, I think that's totally cool. But the pledge should be taught as one nation under, insert here, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. And I actually saw a post on Facebook the other day of one of my friends had posted this thing of, if you still believe in putting under God in the Pledge of Allegiance, then repost this. And so I commented back saying, yeah, you know, I say feel free to, because I honestly do. But those people who are saying under God should not get offended if somebody decides to put in something different, like under the Constitution, under our flag, under the ceiling, under Satan, under the flying spaghetti monster, under myself, and so forth and so on. Because in a public classroom, you have to take it down to the basics so that everybody is incorporated. Because there are atheists in public schools. There are people who are raised without religion. There are people who are raised in non-Abrahamic religions, and so forth and so on. Public schools have diversity, and that diversity has to be acknowledged. Another issue, I'm sure that many of you have heard of this, creationism being taught beside evolution in science classrooms. Now, you know, creationism is, you know, it's an interesting thought. It is. But it has no place beside a scientifically backed, as close to a scientific fact as you can get. Yeah, it's a theory, but a scientific theory is a whole lot different than the commoners' use of the word theory. A scientific theory means that there is massive amounts of data behind it. And well, I mean, we have over 200 years of research backing up evolution. Well over 200 years. And it's not just the fossils, and it's not just comparative anatomy. It's not just observation. We literally have seen the DNA. We have literally found the jumping off point between humans and our other primate counterparts. As it turns out, it was a piece of DNA that just kind of fused. Because we noticed, hey, there's a chemical over here and there's a chemical over here that are generally at the ends of a piece of DNA, but they're right there, right next to each other. And if I got that wrong, please correct me with a comment or a video. But, yeah, creationism, teach it in a philosophy class, teach it in a religious studies class, teach it in a literature course, honestly. I mean, if a teacher or board of education decides that comparing different religions and some of their literature is an interesting topic for whatever reason, go ahead and teach it. But not in a science classroom. Because again, religion is based on philosophies. It's not based on hardcore science. And, well, getting to a topic that really touches my heart because, oh yeah, I minored in human sexuality. Abstinence-only education. I'll put a link below to one of my other videos about abstinence-only education specifically. But abstinence as a family value is okay, you know? If that's your family value, then more power to you. But it should not be forced in schools. Not in the public schools, at least. If abstinence is your family value, then, you know, more power to you. When your kid asks where do babies come from, start teaching it to them then. That when two people have been married and they're in a long-term loving monogamous relationship, whether their marriage is legal or not, go ahead and teach them that. Save you for marriage. But that is one parent to their child. It's not taught, it should not be taught or pushed in the public classrooms. Pushing birth control anatomy understanding, as well as communication skills, and doing exercises and teaching that every person is innately a valuable person and that it should be their choice and their freedom as to when they decide it's right for them to engage in sexual activity, and of course to always use birth control, condoms, safer sex methods when they finally decide to do so. But at abstinence only, a lot as a religious philosophy should not be taught in sex ed classes, because again, it's a religious philosophy. And it varies from culture to culture. There are cultures that say, do it when you feel you're ready, or do it before your marriage. I mean, there are some philosophies out there that you ought to have sex with somebody before you marry them, just to, get a feel for them. I mean, if the sex ain't gonna work, then your marriage might not work. Just saying. So where does this leave us? Here in the United States, in the public schools, the battle goes on of keeping schools secular so that they are able to incorporate everybody and so that they're able to be equal to everybody. That's the big thing about keeping religion out of the public schools. It makes it fairer. Those athletic teams that pray before they engage in whatever sport, that's okay. If a group of students wants to get together and say their prayer, do their chant, do their incantation before they engage in whatever sport they do, that's cool. But it should not be led by a school official. To give you an example from my own childhood, when I was in junior high, my math teacher would play Christian rock music during our tests. And I would literally be sitting there like this, doing my test, trying to block out the music because it annoyed me, it frustrated me, and I couldn't focus with it. Not only because it was loud, and I'm just the kind of person who likes quiet when I'm doing my studies, or a particular music that I like Celtic when I study, but also because, oh yeah, it was Christian rock. That has absolutely no place in a public school, let alone during a math test. So, where does this leave us? Teaching religion in a religious philosophy class, or in a philosophy class in general, or maybe in a cultural studies class, that's cool. But it has absolutely no place besides science, behind, as a jump off from science classes, sex education classes, where people ought to be taught birth control and so forth, the bare minimums of keeping themselves safe, as well as to promote strength and pride within themselves to say, hey, I deserve to be protected, as well as communication skills. And of course, to keep things equal. Keeping things equal by leaving out under God from teaching the Pledge of Allegiance. Just a couple of thoughts. Peace out, YouTubes.